Hey gang, it's Steve. Welcome to another edition of my video diary here, Making Live Fearlessly. Today I'm doing some lead vocals. I just actually finished one. This is my recording mic. Same one I've had plugged in lately on my performance videos right here. I got this new, this really new awesome mic stand. It was about a $200 mic stand. I'll tell you what, it was totally worth it because the arm on it can stretch something like 5 feet if I need it to. So it works perfectly for this. I can get it up high. When I do a vocal, what I try to do is have it just above my mouth level, and then I tilt my head back ever so slightly. So I'm not going directly into it, but I'm just a little bit off like so. So this is about the right height. So this has been really great for that. I'll probably go back to just a standard microphone for the performance videos at some point. This is a wonderful, like, you cannot cause this thing to distort. But as a result, one of the things that it does is that it filters out other noise so well that if you're not right up on it the whole time, it is a little bit less consistent for the performance videos. And I'm so used to performing with just a regular microphone, like an SM58 or whatever, that, you know, I don't always do the best job. So it's frustrated me a little bit, but I haven't wanted to change this out because I've been using it for all of my work on the album. So I've just been doing my performance videos on it too. So, you know, I'll get into that in other videos. But anyway, and it's got a great sound. It's definitely what you'd want to do a project like this on for. For those of you who don't know much about recording, what I do, I kind of take a punch in, punch out overdub approach right from the very beginning on the lead vocal, because what tends to happen with me is that if I sing the whole thing through, it's really inconsistent, and I prefer to get as much of the work done in the performance as possible and not rely on compressors and effects that much. Because one, it sounds a little bit more live. Two, I'm not very good with compressors and effects, and so sometimes I'll take a perfectly good performance and screw it up beyond all recognition. So that's a big one. If I were working with a sound engineer who was smarter than I was with this stuff, I might relax a little bit on that. But I try to keep, so what I do is rather than sing the whole thing through, I can mark on my little digital recording station over here, I can mark a spot and mark another spot, and I can tell it to punch in, meaning it'll play like 5 seconds before my marked in spot, but it won't actually record anything I sing until that marked spot. So it'll give me a lead in, and then so I might take a phrase and go, life is a series of ups and downs. It throws a curve every now and then, and that's it. And I might do 3 or 4 or 5 takes on it to make sure that I'm in tune and not going a little bit sharp and not, you know, sometimes if you ate something, you go, life is a series of ups and downs, you know, and you can't use that. So anyway, I'll do that, and I'll kind of do the whole song that way. So I don't necessarily have a whole bunch of overdubbing to do when it's all done, because I kind of overdubbed it as I went. It's kind of like proofreading as you go if you're writing a paper, instead of doing a rough draft and then going through. Everybody's got their own style. This is just what works for me in this setting. I might do it differently again if I had a team, but I don't have the resources right now to work with a full band and an outside producer. I'd love to work with an outside producer. I mean, it'd be a co-production, but I'd love to have somebody else to throw ideas against and all of that. But, you know, you got to have the bucks to do that. And, you know, someday maybe if I have a record label deal and they're paying for it and there's a budget, then I'll be happy to do that. But for right now, I got to produce it myself. And so this is the easiest way for me to do the best possible work. Because that's the big thing, is where I'm doing all of it myself, except for the guitar work. But even then, my guitar player's not in the room. We're doing it remote. So where I'm doing all this stuff by myself, what I've found is that I have to choose a style of work that allows me to get the best quality work done that I can while still having to tend to everything. Whereas I might have a whole different process of how I go about it if all I had to focus on was writing songs, playing the piano, and singing, and everything else was covered by somebody else. And then I could just go sit in the control room after we've done a bunch of takes, sit down with the band, with the producer, with the sound engineer, and say, I like this, I don't like that, blah, da, 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 and listen to everybody's feedback and then make decisions based on it and then go try some more stuff. I might have a whole different working process, but this is how I'm doing it now because it's what gets the best product in the least amount of time and doesn't drive me absolutely insane because I'm the sound engineer, the producer, the drummer, the bass player, the keyboard player, and the piano player, and the lead singer, and the backing vocalist. So, you know, you just have to kind of work with what's going on in your situation. But lead vocals are kind of fun that way, and it allows me to get a pretty darn good performance so that there's not much to do with it at all. What I have done, I'm just going to play a little bit of something here. I'm going to turn everything else down. Okay, let's see if this comes through.
Life is a series of ups and downs. It throws a curve every now and then. It leaves you wondering what you did to deserve the lot you're in.
Okay, now I recorded that on one track. So I did the initial performance on a mono track. And I just used some presets that I have on here that are good. There's a male vocal preset for the EQ. There's a solo vocal preset for the dynamics. And then I put it in what they call reverb hall for just like the reverberation and the kind of effects. And then what I do is I go in and I add just a little bit of extra bottom end to my voice because I have kind of a deeper voice, and that the preset is close, but it leaves it a little bit tinny for, not that it would be bad for somebody else's voice, but it kind of takes away some of the quality in my natural voice. So I add just a little bit more bottom end in the EQ, and then I add just a touch more reverb. And it sounds a lot more reverb heavy when you're playing it all by itself, but when you bring everything else up, then it actually, that little bit of extra ring creates a little bit more roundness and clarity. So this is what's going on.
I don't know if there's rhyme.
Okay, I'm going to bring up the drums.
I don't know if I'd call it bass.
Oh, I forgot to add. So I recorded it on one track, and then what I did was I made an exact copy of it, and I put it on a second track right next to each other to create a stereo sound. And then I went in on the second track and I added just about a 22 millisecond inserted 22 milliseconds of empty space at the very beginning, so they're just slightly off from each other, which actually gives it a much fuller sound. If I had done just the exact copy, honestly you wouldn't even be able to tell that it was stereo, but by doing this it creates a little bit fuller effect. And then I went in and panned one of them. I didn't go all the way over, like 16 is hard left and 16 hard right, which is the farthest I can go. I went to about here and here. I went to like 13 and 13, and then I've got, every track has got some level of this kind of stereo effect going on in it. Drums got a right and left, bass has got a right and left. I have a lot less delay on the drums than I do on anything else because you don't want too much differentiation, but I've got them all at different levels. So one might be at 10 and 2, and one might be at 3 and 9, and one might be here, and it creates a little bit more of a three-dimensional sound. And I will talk about that. Maybe I'm thinking about putting a home recording package together to actually sell, because of all this stuff I've been learning about this, because you can really do some pretty cool stuff for not very much money these days. So anyway, So that's why it sounds almost double tracked, but I didn't sing it twice.
But I know if you're not careful, you'll
Okay.
wind up full of hate.
Here's bass.
And I'm still searching for redemption. I'm still sifting through.
Here's piano.
pain. I'm still looking for a burning candle in the pouring
And now we start bringing in a little guitar.
must be getting closer, 'cause I finally come to see the answer is forgiveness. First for you, and then for me. I'm still trying to make some sense now.
Definitely not a full mix down, but starting to sound enough like a song that I can tell I've got the components I need to actually do a mix down and get a final product on this song. So, very excited. I'll talk to you more about all this stuff later, but I just wanted to talk to you about lead vocals and what I'm working. This song is called The Answer. I actually wrote this, oh my God, 8 years ago now. 8 years ago, and I just haven't done anything with it other than a home demo, and it was a song that I'm really proud of, and I'll talk more about all the songs at a later date, but pretty cool stuff. This is so much fun to do. I can't even do, I'm like bursting out of myself because I'm having so much fun doing this record. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. I will talk to you later. Remember, if you're not having fun when you're making music, you're doing it wrong. And I'll see you on the next video. I'm Steve Lungrin.